Coach Dunn, welcome to the 2011 NCAA Women's Final Four hosted at Conseco Fieldhouse this weekend.
Home of the Indiana Fever.
Home of the Indiana Fever. That is absolutely correct. Let's take a look at the Final Four field. Let's just talk about each team one by one. Really quickly, give me 2 or 3 short tidbits on each team. Start with game number 1, Texas A&M.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that they're the surprise team here. Everyone expected Baylor to be here, maybe except for Gary Blair and the Aggies. I'm excited for them. I think they did a tremendous job getting here. And I think they're very talented. Danielle Adams and their guards, and, don't underestimate them in this tournament.
Kelly Krauskopf is a proud Aggie alum. Do the Aggies reap any benefit from having their former player as the GM of the Fever now?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt that Kelly's going to bring them a lot of luck. That's why I'm telling you, don't underestimate the Aggies.
Okay, talk about their opponent.
Stanford. Very, very good team. Has been one of the teams the whole season that I thought would be here. They're gifted inside with the Agumike sisters. They're gifted on the perimeter with Poland and Peterson. Very balanced, smart, and this team has beaten Connecticut, so it should be a great matchup between Texas A&M and Stanford.
You mentioned Poland and Peterson, and for anyone watching this interview, we're going to tease another interview we'll do next week when we talk about top draft prospects.
Well, I think when you watch the Final Four this weekend, you should know that Peterson and Poland are both in our pool of candidates that we would certainly consider drafting at the 9th spot.
Real good. We'll talk about that one next week. Let's now move to Game 2. We've got Connecticut against Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish.
Well, let me start by saying that kudos to Gino. He loses one of the great centers all time in the collegiate game in Tina Charles, and we know how great she was because we had to defend against her this year in the WNBA, and yet he comes back again, and he's in the Final Four, and he's had a tremendous season. Of course, the key player is Maya Moore, who there's no doubt will be the first player picked in the WNBA draft. If they've got a weakness, it might be their depth. They just don't have a whole lot of players over there on that bench. So that'll be interesting. If they can stay out of foul trouble, they could do it again.
Talk about Notre Dame.
Another surprise team. I don't think anybody expected Notre Dame to upset Tennessee. I know I didn't. It about broke my heart because I'm a Rocky Topper. But Moffitt's done a great job. They're balanced. They've got a superstar in Skylar Diggins. And I think it's great for the state of Indiana. If Purdue or IU couldn't be here, then, kudos to Notre Dame that you're here and representing, the Midwest.
Before we talk about a championship game, any thoughts on the other Indiana team that's playing in the men's Final Four and Butler?
Go Butler. Go Bulldogs. Once again, Brad Stevens has done an unbelievable job. I don't think anybody thought after he lost his superstar last year that he'd be back. Gritty, tough, defend, score. Man, I'm just really impressed with what they've done.
Okay. Let's talk about championship game. We don't know who's going to be in it, but we're going to look for your great prognostication skills. Tell us who is going to be the national champion crowned here on Tuesday night.
Well, if I had to pick, if it was a life or death situation, because I wouldn't pick if I didn't have to, I'd have to go with Stanford. And I have to go with their senior leadership. I have to go with their size inside. And I have to go with the fact that they've already beaten Connecticut.
Very good. Excellent. Coach, thank you very much. For fans tuning in, be sure to come back next week. We'll talk about the WNBA draft. Thanks,
Go
Coach.
Fever. Go Fever.